Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life, forever. If you ask plenty musicians, them know it, but them can't do it.
Did you stop fighting?
No, but I was at home with my people, so I didn't need to be fighting no more.
Bob Marley, a renowned Jamaican singer, musician, and songwriter, achieved iconic status as one of the pioneers of reggae music. His catalog includes timeless hits such as Could You Be Loved, Is This Love, and One Love. Marley not only left an indelible mark on the music industry, but also became a symbol of Rastafari, infusing his work with a profound sense of spirituality. Tragically, Bob Marley's life and prolific career were abruptly cut short when he succumbed to cancer at the age of 36. The news of his untimely death left music lovers worldwide in mourning as they grappled with the loss of the Jamaican icon. Despite the widely known cause of Marley's death, some fans have been drawn into conspiracy theories surrounding the circumstances of his passing. One notable instance involved rapper T.I. taking to Instagram in 2018 to share a news article that claimed ex-CIA agent Bill Oxley made revelations on his deathbed. According to the now debunked article, Oxley purportedly acted as a New York Times photographer to gain proximity to Marley at his Blue Mountains retreat in Jamaica. Bill Oxley, an individual alleged to have been associated with the CIA for 29 years, purportedly made shocking claims about his involvement in various assassinations, including the alleged murder of Bob Marley. According to the conspiracy theory circulating online, Oxley asserted that he carried out 17 assassinations on behalf of the American government between 1974 and 1985, a period during which he claimed the CIA operated with significant autonomy. In the widely shared interview, Oxley revealed that he functioned as a hitman, targeting individuals deemed to pose a threat to the interests of the United States. Despite the gravity of his actions, he asserted that he considered himself a patriot and did not question the motivations of the CIA, believing that sacrifices were sometimes necessary for the greater good. The conspiracy narrative details a specific account of the alleged Bob Marley assassination. According to this version, Oxley, using fabricated press credentials, gained access to Marley at his Blue Mountain retreat. Posing as a renowned photographer affiliated with the New York Times, Oxley reportedly presented Marley with a gift, a pair of Converse All-Stars in size 10. The right shoe, as the story goes, was rigged with a nail tainted with cancer viruses and bacteria. When Marley tried on the shoe and exclaimed in pain, the conspiracy theory suggests that it marked the tragic end of his life.
Access to Bob Marley when he was on his Blue Mountain retreat. He introduced himself as a famous photographer for the New York Times, and he presented Bob Marley with a gift. I gave him a pair of Converse All-Stars, size 10. When he tried on the right shoe, he screamed out, "Ouch." That was it. His life was over right then and there. The nail in the shoe was tainted with cancer viruses and bacteria. If it pierced the skin, which it did, it was good night, nurse. There had been a series of high-profile assassinations of counterculture figures in the United States.
Oxley, in the purported interview, explained the rationale behind the alleged method, stating that after a series of high-profile assassinations in the late 60s and early 70s, the approach shifted towards subtlety. Instead of resorting to conventional means like bullets, the conspiracy theory suggests a more discreet method involving the tainted nail. Moreover, the conspiracy narrative claims that Oxley maintained close contact with Marley during the artist's final years, ensuring that the medical advice he received in various locations, including Paris, London, and the United States, would contribute to hastening his demise rather than offering a cure. According to Oxley, he claimed to have witnessed Bob Marley in his final days, saying the iconic musician had undergone a significant physical decline, with his dreadlocks removed and a noticeable weight loss. Oxley described Marley as being withdrawn and remarkably small, attributing the physical deterioration to the impact of the cancer that ultimately led to his death. Despite being widely dismissed as fiction, this account coincides with findings from UK scientists in 2014. The scientists revealed that the rare type of skin cancer, acral melanoma, which caused Marley's demise, was not sun-induced. Bob Marley's son, Ziggy Marley, has previously hinted at suspicions regarding his father's death, expressing uncertainty in a 2013 interview by stating, "I don't know what to believe. There are a lot of theories." This uncertainty adds to the intrigue surrounding the circumstances of Bob Marley's passing. During the late 1970s, Jamaica experienced a tumultuous period characterized by the influx of cheap guns, heroin, cocaine, right-wing propaganda, and death squad rule. This was also marked by what Grenada's Prime Minister, Maurice Bishop, described as the CIA's pernicious attempts to wreck the economy. Bishop articulated that destabilization was a method employed by larger and more powerful countries to control and exploit the lives and resources of smaller nations through bullying, intimidation, and violence. In response to the perceived machinations of the CIA, Bob Marley incorporated revolutionary themes into his lyrics, utilizing his music as a form of resistance against the covert activities he believed were threatening Jamaica. He viewed his lyrics as a symbolic crucifix warding off the metaphorical vampires attempting to influence the island through clandestine means. It is important to note that the account regarding Bill Oxley's alleged involvement in Marley's death, as presented on a website connected to conspiracy theorist David Icke, has faced widespread skepticism. Fact-checking sources, including Snopes, have been unable to find any record of a Bill or William Oxley having any association with the CIA. Another challenging aspect of Bob Marley's globally acclaimed success was the notable incident that added a layer of intrigue to his life and potentially fueled conspiracy theories surrounding his death. This incident occurred in 1976, just 2 days before the scheduled Smile Jamaica concert, a free event organized by the Jamaican Prime Minister Michael Manley. The concert aimed to alleviate tensions between two opposing political factions in Jamaica. In a startling turn of events, Bob Marley, along with his wife Rita and manager Don Taylor, fell victim to an assassination attempt within the confines of Marley's home. The assailants, whose identities remained unknown, targeted the iconic musician, resulting in serious injuries to both Rita and Taylor. Although Bob Marley suffered minor wounds to his chest and arm, the attack was widely perceived as politically motivated. Many believed that the concert, despite being presented as a unifying event, was, in reality, a show of support for Prime Minister Manley. Despite the gravity of the situation, the Smile Jamaica concert proceeded as planned, a testament to Marley's resilience and commitment to his craft. Even in the face of adversity, with members of the Wailers either missing or in hiding, Marley, albeit injured, took the stage before an audience of 80,000. The group Zap Pow stepped in as his backup band for the performance. This incident not only underscored the political tensions in Jamaica at the time, but also added a layer of complexity to Bob Marley's life and career. It reflected the challenges he faced as a symbol of unity in a politically charged environment. Despite the attempt on his life, Marley's unwavering dedication to his music and message prevailed, as he continued to use his art as a platform for peace and harmony. Now, delving into the life and career of this legendary icon requires an exploration of his early influences, his groundbreaking contributions to reggae music, and the profound impact of his lyrics, which often carried messages of love, social justice, and spirituality. Bob Marley's journey from his formative years to becoming a global musical phenomenon is marked by not only his artistic achievements, but also the challenges and triumphs that shaped the man behind the music. Robert Nesta Marley was born on February 6, 1945, on his maternal grandfather's farm in 9 Mile, St. Ann Parish, Jamaica. His parents were Norval Sinclair Marley and Cedella Malcolm. Norval Marley, originally from Crowborough, East Sussex in England, claimed Syrian Jewish origins along with English heritage. At the time of his marriage to Cedella Malcolm, who was 18 years old and of Afro-Jamaican descent, Norval was employed as a plantation overseer and asserted to have been a captain in the Royal Marines. While some sources suggest that Marley's birth name was Nesta Robert Marley, a story circulates that a Jamaican passport official reversed his first and middle names when he was a boy, as Nesta was perceived as a girl's name. Norval financially supported his wife and child, but had infrequent contact with them due to his frequent absences. Marley attended Stepney Primary and Junior High School in St. Ann, and in 1955, at the age of 10, he experienced the loss of his father to a heart attack. Following the death of his father, Marley's mother, Cedella, later married Edward Booker, a civil servant from the United States. This union resulted in 2 half-brothers for Marley, Richard and Anthony. Marley's childhood friend from 9 Mile, Neville Livingston, later known as Bunny Wailer, shared a musical journey with him since their time at Stepney Primary and Junior High School. At the age of 12, Marley and his mother relocated to Trenchtown, Kingston. Living in the same house as Bunny Wailer's father, Thaddeus Livingston, and sharing a half-sister, Claudette Pearl, Marley and Bunny deepened their musical exploration, delving into ska music and the latest R&B from American radio stations. Forming a vocal group with Bunny Wailer and Peter Tosh, they went through various names, including the Teenagers, the Wailing Rude Boys, the Wailing Wailers, and finally, the Wailers. During this period, they focused on vocal harmonies with Joe Higgs, a nearby neighbor, and part of the successful vocal act Higgs and Wilson, playing a crucial role in encouraging Marley's musical development. Higgs not only helped refine their vocal harmonies, but also taught Marley how to play the guitar. This marked the early stages of Marley's remarkable journey into music, setting the foundation for his later achievements as a global reggae icon. In 1963, a musical ensemble initially known as the Teenagers comprised Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, Peter Tosh, Junior Braithwaite, Beverly Kelso, and Cherry Smith. The group underwent several name changes, evolving from the Teenagers to the Wailing Rude Boys, and then the Wailing Wailers. It was under the latter name that they caught the attention of record producer Coxsone Dodd, eventually settling on the iconic moniker, the Wailers. Their single Simmer Down for the Coxsone label achieved considerable success, reaching Jamaican #1 in February 1964 and selling an estimated 70,000 copies. The Wailers, now regular contributors to Studio One, collaborated with esteemed Jamaican musicians like Ernest Ranglin, Jackie Mittoo, and Roland Alfonso. However, by 1966, Junior Braithwaite, Beverly Kelso, and Cherry Smith had departed the group, leaving the core trio of Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh. In 1966, Bob Marley married Rita Anderson and temporarily relocated to Wilmington, Delaware, near his mother's residence in the United States. During this period, he held various jobs, including working as a DuPont lab assistant and as an assembly line worker and forklift operator at a Chrysler plant in Newark, using the alias Donald Marley. Despite being raised in the Catholic faith, Marley's spiritual journey took a turn towards Rastafari beliefs in the 1960s, influenced by the cultural and religious landscape apart from his mother's teachings. Upon returning to Jamaica, Marley embraced Rastafari, symbolized by his adoption of dreadlocks. Following a financial dispute with Coxsone Dodd Marley and his band joined forces with Lee Scratch Perry and his studio band, the Upsetters. This collaboration, though short-lived, resulted in what many regard as the pinnacle of the Wailers' artistic output. However, the association concluded due to a disagreement regarding recording rights. Despite the parting, Marley and Perry continued to collaborate in subsequent projects, showcasing the enduring nature of their musical connection. In 1969, a significant evolution occurred in Jamaican popular music as the beat slowed down further, introducing a distinctive rhythm that marked the emergence of reggae. This new beat, characterized by a slow and steady ticking rhythm, was first heard in the Maytals' song, "Do the Reggae." Bob Marley recognized the potential of this emerging genre and approached producer Leslie Kong, a key figure in the development of the reggae sound. Collaborating with Kong, Marley enlisted his band, the Wailers, along with Kong's studio musicians known as Beverly's All-Stars. The ensemble featured prominent musicians such as Lloyd Parks and Jackie Jackson on bass, Paul Douglas on drums, Gladstone Anderson and Winston Wright on keyboards, and Rad Bryan, Lynn Tate, and Hux Brown on guitars. This collaboration resulted in a recording session that showcased the Wailers' early efforts in the new reggae style. Departing from the ska influences of their earlier works, the reggae tracks featured instrumental breaks predominantly played by the electric guitar. The recordings from this session were compiled into the album The Best of the Wailers, featuring tracks like Soul Shakedown Party, Stop That Train, Caution, Go Tell It on the Mountain, Soon Come, Can't You See, Soul Captives, Cheer Up, Back Out, and Do It Twice. Between 1968 and 1972, Bob and Rita Marley, along with Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer, revisited some old tracks, collaborating with Jad Records in Kingston and London in an effort to commercialize the Wailers' sound. Bunny Wailer later suggested that these songs were intended as demos for record companies rather than being released on an album. In 1968, Marley and Rita visited songwriter Jimmy Norman in the Bronx, resulting in a 3-day jam session with Norman and other collaborators. This session produced a 24-minute tape of Marley performing his compositions, showcasing a rare influence of pop rather than traditional reggae. This effort aimed to introduce Marley to the U.S. charts, experimenting with different sounds, including a doo-wop style on Stay With Me, and a slow love song style reminiscent of 1960s artists on Splish for My Splash. During the year 1972, a period when Marley was yet to establish himself internationally, he resided in Ridgemount Gardens, Bloomsbury, highlighting a pivotal phase in his life and career. In 1972, Bob Marley took a significant step in his career by signing with CBS Records in London and embarking on a UK tour alongside soul singer Johnny Nash. During their time in London, the Wailers, Marley's band, sought to address royalties related to their Coxsone releases. To facilitate this discussion, their road manager, Brent Clark, introduced them to Chris Blackwell of Island Records, who had previously licensed some of their Coxsone releases. However, instead of discussing royalties, the meeting led to an offer from Blackwell, an advance of €4,000 to record an album. Recognizing the potential of reggae in the international music scene, Blackwell saw in Marley the elements necessary to captivate a broader audience, particularly the rock audience. With the departure of Jimmy Cliff, Island's top reggae star at the time, Blackwell was actively seeking a replacement. Marley's image and music style aligned with Blackwell's vision for breaking Jamaican music globally. The Wailers returned to Jamaica to record at Harry J's in Kingston, resulting in the creation of the groundbreaking album Catch a Fire. This marked the first instance where a reggae band had access to a state-of-the-art studio and received the same level of attention and care as their rock counterparts. Recorded primarily on an 8-track, Blackwell aimed for a drifting, hypnotic-type feel, distinct from traditional reggae rhythms. Marley later traveled to London to oversee Blackwell's overdubbing of the album at Island Studios, involving adjustments to the mix to align with a less bass-heavy sound than typical Jamaican music and the exclusion of 2 tracks. Catch a Fire, released globally in April 1973, was the Wailers' inaugural album with Island Records. Packaged like a rock record with a unique Zippo lighter lift top, the album initially sold 14,000 units and received positive critical acclaim. This release was succeeded later that year by Burnin', featuring the famous song I Shot the Sheriff. Eric Clapton, upon receiving the album from his guitarist George Terry, was impressed and went on to record a cover version of I Shot the Sheriff, which became his first U.S. hit since Layla and reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in September 1974. Despite some initial resistance from Jamaican audiences to the new reggae sound on Catch a Fire, the subsequent album Burnin' resonated across both reggae and rock audiences, solidifying the Wailers' influence on the evolving musical landscape. The Wailers initially set out to open 17 shows for Sly and the Family Stone in the United States. However, after just 4 performances, the band was dismissed due to their growing popularity overshadowing the headlining acts. Following this development, the Wailers disbanded in 1974, and each of the main members, including Bob Marley, pursued solo careers. Despite the breakup, Marley continued recording under the name Bob Marley and the Wailers. Marley's new backing band featured notable musicians such as Carlton and Aston family man Barrett on drums and bass, Junior Marvin and Al Anderson on lead guitar, Tyrone Downey and Earl Waya Lindo on keyboards, and Alvin Seco Patterson on percussion. The backing vocal trio known as the I-Threes, consisting of Judy Mowat, Marcia Griffiths, and Marley's wife Rita, contributed to the ensemble. In 1975, Bob Marley achieved international acclaim with his first hit outside Jamaica, a live version of No Woman, No Cry from the Live album. This success was followed by the breakthrough album in the United States, Rastaman Vibration, 1976, which reached the top 50 of the Billboard Soul charts. Marley left Jamaica at the end of 1976 and spent 2 years in self-imposed exile in England after a period of recovery and writing in the Bahamas. During his time in England, Marley recorded the albums Exodus and Kaya. Exodus remained on the British album charts for an impressive 56 consecutive weeks and included 4 UK hit singles, Exodus, Waiting in Vain, Jamming, and One Love. While in London, Marley encountered legal troubles and faced a conviction for the possession of a small quantity of cannabis in 1977. In 1978, Marley returned to Jamaica and performed at the One Love Peace concert, aimed at promoting unity amid political tensions. During this historic event, Marley brought together political rivals Michael Manley and Edward Seaga on stage, facilitating a symbolic handshake between the leaders of the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party. Under the name Bob Marley and the Wailers, a total of 11 albums were released, encompassing both live and studio recordings. Notably, Babylon by Bus, a double live album released in 1978, received critical acclaim. The album, especially the final track, Jamming, captured the energetic essence of Marley's live performances, showcasing the enduring impact of his reggae music on a global scale. In 1979, Bob Marley released Survival, an album characterized by its defiant and politically charged themes. Songs like Zimbabwe, Africa Unite, Wake Up and Live, and the titular track Survival showcased Marley's unwavering support for the struggles faced by Africans. His performance at the Amandla Festival in Boston in July 1979 underscored his strong opposition to South African apartheid, a sentiment he had previously expressed in his 1976 song, War. Furthermore, in early 1980, Marley was invited to perform at the celebration of Zimbabwe's Independence Day on April 17th. Uprising, 1980, marked Bob Marley's final studio album and is considered one of his most spiritually oriented productions. The album features iconic tracks such as Redemption Song and Forever Loving Jah. Following his passing, the posthumously released Confrontation in 1983 included previously unreleased material recorded during Marley's lifetime, featuring the hit Buffalo Soldier and new mixes of singles that were previously only available in Jamaica. Bob Marley was a dedicated member of the Rastafari movement, and his allegiance to this cultural and religious group played a pivotal role in shaping the development of reggae music. As an advocate for Rastafari, Marley regarded Haile Selassie of Ethiopia as an incarnation of God, also known as Jah. In November 1980, just before his death, Archbishop Abuna Yesehak baptized Marley into the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, giving him the name Berhane Selassie. Consistent with his Rastafarian beliefs, Marley actively supported the legalization of cannabis, or ganja, which Rastafarians believe aids in meditation. Marley began using cannabis upon his conversion to Rastafari from Catholicism in 1966 and was arrested in 1968 for its possession. He viewed marijuana as a crucial element in spiritual growth and connecting with Jah, emphasizing its role in self-reflection and meditation. Bob Marley identified as a Pan-Africanist, advocating for the unity of African people globally. His beliefs were deeply rooted in his Rastafari faith and drew inspiration from figures like Marcus Garvey. Marley's music often carried anti-imperialist and Pan-Africanist themes, evident in songs such as Zimbabwe, Exodus, Survival, Black Man Redemption, and Redemption Song. Beyond his musical pursuits, association football played a significant role in Bob Marley's life. Marley actively engaged in the sport, participating in games held in parking lots, fields, and even recording studios. During his formative years, he ardently followed the Brazilian club Santos, particularly admiring their star player Pelé. Additionally, Marley expressed his support for the English football club Tottenham Hotspur and Argentine midfielder Ossie Ardiles, who played for the club from 1978 for a decade. Immersing himself in the world of football, Marley appointed the Jamaican international footballer Alan Skill Cole as his tour manager in the 1970s. Marley once remarked to a journalist that playing football against him and the Wailers was a way to truly understand him. In July 1977, Marley faced a health challenge when he was diagnosed with a type of malignant melanoma under his right great toe. Contrary to popular belief, this ailment was not primarily caused by an injury during a football match that year. Instead, it was a symptom of pre-existing cancer. Marley, a fervent believer in his religious convictions, rejected doctors' advice to amputate his toe, opting instead for the removal of the nail and nail bed, along with a skin graft from his thigh to cover the affected area. Despite his health struggles, Marley continued touring and even had plans to embark on a world tour in 1980. The album Uprising was released in May 1980, followed by a major tour of Europe, where Marley and the Wailers played their largest concert to date at San Siro Stadium in Milan, Italy, with an audience of 100,000 people. However, after the tour, Marley's health took a turn for the worse. While jogging in Central Park in the United States, he collapsed and was subsequently hospitalized. The cancer had spread to his brain, lungs, and liver. Marley's last concert occurred on September 23, 1980, at the Stanley Theater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Shortly thereafter, his health further declined as the cancer progressed throughout his body. The remaining tour dates were canceled, and Marley sought treatment at the clinic of Joseph Eisels in Rottach-Egern, Bavaria, Germany, undergoing alternative cancer treatment called the Eisels treatment. Despite 8 months of efforts, Marley's health did not significantly improve, prompting his return to Jamaica. During the flight home, his vital functions deteriorated, and upon landing in Miami, Florida, he was rushed to Cedars of Lebanon Hospital, later University of Miami Hospital, for immediate medical attention. Bob Marley passed away on May 11, 1981, at the age of 36, succumbing to the spread of melanoma to his lungs and brain. His final words to his son Ziggy were, "On your way up, take me up. On your way down, don't let me down." Bob Marley received a state funeral in Jamaica on May 21, 1981, incorporating elements of both Ethiopian Orthodoxy and Rastafari tradition. He was laid to rest in a chapel near his birthplace in 9 Mile, with his casket containing symbolic items such as his red Gibson Les Paul guitar, an open Bible at Psalm 23, and a stalk of ganja placed by his widow, Rita Marley. To honor his memory, a statue was inaugurated next to the National Stadium on Arthur Wint Drive in Kingston. In recognition of his cultural impact, a portion of Church Avenue in Brooklyn, New York, from Remsen Avenue to East 98th Street, was co-named Bob Marley Boulevard by the New York City Department of Education in 2006. Additionally, in 2008, a statue of Bob Marley was unveiled in Banatski Sokolac, Serbia. Bob Marley's influence extends globally, resonating with various indigenous communities. Members of the Native American Hopi and Havasupai tribes hold deep reverence for his work. In India, numerous tributes to Marley, including restaurants, hotels, and cultural festivals, stand as a testament to his enduring impact. Marley has become a universal symbol, and his legacy is perpetuated through extensive merchandising and media representations. Several film adaptations depicting his life have been produced. Notably, Bob Marley, One Love, an American biographical drama musical directed by Reynaldo Marcus Green, is set for release in the United States on February 14, 2024. Bob Marley remains an iconic figure, and his legacy is destined to endure indefinitely. That's it for today. Until next time, bye.